Welcome back to Clear Talk. On today's episode, we're covering some juicy topics. We're going to be starting off with how to avoid building a Frankenstein business.
And then we discuss the alchemy of a sales call.
And then why cheap coaches actually cost 10 times more than a high-ticket coach.
And then we finish it all off with why nothing is an objection on a sales call.
Now let us know in the comments down below, what's the biggest objection you've not been able to overcome on your sales calls? Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Clear Talk. I'm your host, Armin Shaffi, and this is my co-host,
Jeanette Otero.
And this is the #1 show for coaches who want to go high ticket, scale their business, and make a difference in the world. The big question is, how do coaches like us who started with nothing and who risked everything to build a business around helping other people, how do we go out there and get more clients, get our message out there in the world while still making a huge difference and a huge profit? That is the big question, and this show will give you the answer. Now, if you're watching on YouTube right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get free content on a weekly basis on how to go high ticket and scale your business and sell your high ticket program or build one and sell it. And if you're on Facebook right now, make sure you drop a comment down below saying that you're here, #live. If you're watching the replay, say #replay. Let us know what part of the world you're from. And on YouTube as well, let us know what kind of coaching you do. I would love to know. Now, here's the big thing. If you want your questions answered on this show live every single Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time inside of the High Ticket Coaching Community Facebook group, which is Secrets on How to Scale to 7 Figures, then all you got to do is go to askarmin.com, submit your questions, and we will personally give you free coaching on this show. There's no one else in the world that does this, that gives you this much valuable free coaching for free every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. No one else actually does this, okay? This shows where you get real value, real answers to questions that you have. So make sure to go to askarmin.com and submit your questions. But here we are. We're back.
We're back. Honestly, I thought you were going to do a triple R. Real questions, real value from real people. But he didn't do it. I was waiting for it, but it's all good.
She just did it.
But we're back, guys. I know it's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks since we've actually gone live, and we've been doing the show. So tell
And
Armin,
why is that, by the way?
I was going to...
Why is that? Why don't you tell them?
Armin, tell them.
Why don't you tell them why we've been off the grid for a couple weeks?
So, we have been really taking the time to dive deeper into our program, as you guys know, Speaking at Clients, SGC. TBD on the name, actually. I know we talked about that on a past show, whether we're going to change the name or keep it, but we've been taking a look at all of the lesson videos, all of the modules, and we've been upgrading all of the content from our new mindset module, really setting the tone for, how you can improve your mindset and expand and scale to that 7-figure mark. And also our new marketing module being, this foundation to crafting your offer is one of the biggest things that we've updated. But there's more that you'd have to obviously find out.
I mean, look, if you want to get knocked out, like Mayweather did to Logan Paul yesterday.
To the scrimmage, right?
I mean,
he
didn't really knock him out. Logan Paul definitely got his ass handed to him. He was dreaded tired.
Really?
By the second round.
Yes. I saw the meme.
Confused.
I saw the meme against the.
I was shocked. Second round in, he was like panting, and he's only 25, and wow. Mayweather is like 44. But if you want a Mayweather level coaching program to actually scale a business to $100,000 a month, then our program is it. I am so confident when I say this now. We have the #1 training in the industry.
100%.
Here's how I know. Put my money where my mouth is. I bought all my biggest competitors' programs. I went in there and I watched everything within a matter of days. Like I binge watched it. And I was doing it for a few reasons. One, to see, is there anything that I'm missing? Maybe there's people in the industry longer than me that could maybe teach me a few things. And I caught a few things here and there. And I made sure I went into depth with it, understood it, reverse engineered it, and I taught it better. And I did it myself to get my own personal experience with it.
And added his own flair.
Yeah, and definitely. I mean,
added his
that's not even a question.
His Armin seasoning.
And put it in our program. Then I went through and I saw what was missing and what the clients were complaining about the most, about what was lacking. And I made sure I covered that in my program, and I made sure I had it in my program. And then I realized from two competitors, for example, one has this really good thing, the other one has this really good thing, but they both lack something else that they have. And I made sure I have it. So it's like I went through every big, like, any name that you guys probably know about that you sign up for, and I won't name names just out of confidentiality, just for respect. But all the biggest names you know, the multi-million dollar companies and the owners and the gurus and the internet marketers that are selling their $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 programs on how to scale your business.
Yeah.
I bought them all. I literally put $100,000 worth of my money into different programs, into different coaches, and on a market research basis. Like, obviously I learned something. I like being a student. Like, I'm about to invest probably into another like 20 to 50 grand again.
Yes,
into some more mentorship because I like to learn. Like, I'm like, money comes in, I want to put it back into growth because I know 10x my company. But for the reason I did in the last 6 months is for market research. Like, I treated it like a data analyst, where I went through and I'm like, okay, this is what works, this is what doesn't work, here's what needs to be, here's what needs to not be done, and we put it in a program. And to this day, we launched it, I think, the new trainings in our program. Like, we pretty much revamped it. Like, anyone who bought my program up until 4 days ago just got a brand new program.
Literally.
Worth like 50 grand of value alone again.
100%.
So, like, my clients are always getting,
new juicy good stuff.
They're always getting more and more and more from us. Like, it's never ending.
Better, and best all the time.
And so they're still raving about it even to this day. I was like waking up today.
Yeah.
I was walking and I was reading more clients are posting on our group about how just one part of a new training we did is like, holy crap, changed my life.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm just honored. I'm excited. I'm pumped because now in my soul, I know that we have the greatest training on the planet when it comes to building a high-ticket business, building a 7-figure coaching business. And whether it's someone who's just starting out, who doesn't know where to start, we give them the roadmap, 100K. Mm-hmm. Whether it's someone who's already making 5 to 15 grand a month and stuck there and doesn't know how to scale to 30, 50, or 100 grand a month, we give them the training on how to do that, which is how to get more book calls, how to get more qualified clients on the phone, how to close those clients at 2 to 3 times their current price, how to, or whether it's you're already doing 30 to 50 grand or even 100 grand, but you need to streamline your operations because your business isn't sustainably going to scale because it's breaking down. Like, there's so many moving parts, so many clients coming in, you can't handle the flow. And because, gratefully, I know what that feels like. Yeah. We even have systems, trainings on how to streamline the entire business, your operations, your marketing, your sales, even your fulfillment. So even though we're in coach, doesn't mean you can't build a hands-off business. You still can. I only spend about 6 hours a week with my core clients, and we still do 6 figures a month. Think about this for a second. I only spend 6 hours a week. That's less than a part-timer.
Than a part-time.
Yeah, like
yeah, it's true.
That's less than like an online business would require you to do, which is 10 hours a week or whatever. Yeah. And that's the amount of weekly calls I do with my clients, and they all get crazy results. I mean, we've had clients break 150K last month, 100K last month. We've had multiple clients break the 20, 30, and 50K month last month. Just last month, which is
last month
cool.
We had a lot of first sales.
Yeah, a lot of clients that close their first clients, high ticket clients. Yeah. Anyways, a lot of stuff happened, and that's the best part because the model we teach is on-demand coaching, and I live it, and it's like my clients are raving, their clients are raving, and I get to live the dream, life of my dreams with my team. So it's pretty cool. Like everything from scratch to finish, man, is covered in this training, and we might even raise prices again because like it's people make so much money coming in, and forget about the money. People transform their lives.
I know.
Like I have people like.
Let's talk about personal breakthroughs.
I don't even know how to explain it. Like, people come in and they'll let go of like baggage. They'll let go of like past issues. They'll let go of fear. They'll overcome their insecurities, build relentless confidence, and it's ironic because it's from a business program.
I'm having a bliss attack. It's sneaking up on me.
It's because the background I have before teaching marketing and sales is breakthrough coaching. Yeah. So I couldn't help but put in the mindset component of every single aspect. From a scratch, from like reverse engineering 100 grand a month so you know exactly what it looks like in terms of numbers, to how to set a goal and achieve it, how to create a vision in your life, how to master all the rules of business and make sure you know how to reverse engineer any result you set your mind to. So understanding the journey to 7 figures, crafting an entire high ticket offer that's worth 5 to 25 grand. Understanding high-ticket marketing, which is different than just regular marketing to get high-ticket clients. Validating a brand new offer if you want to make a new offer from scratch that's worth 5 to 25 grand. Getting testimonials for marketing, case studies, videos, screenshot testimonials so you have social proof to outdo your competitors who don't have as much social proof. Like, there is everything, and mindsets behind all of it. Defining your perfect client so you know who you want to work with and who you'll never work with. Yeah. We care about our coaches actually having a quality of life when they build their business, and a lot of people forego that when they bring on problem clients just for the money. And I teach an exercise on how to even understand the difference between that, so you don't do that. Like everything you need, like building out your entire coaching program, is just in the second module alone. Your entire coaching program, a 6 to 12 week program worth $5 to $25K, what to put in it, how to price it, how to name it, like how to know what to teach in it.
Yeah.
And then how to deliver that program. So I give you a teaching format, how to create breakthroughs, a 5-step breakthrough process. So even it doesn't matter what you're in, real estate coaching, money coaching, health coaching, you still got to create breakthroughs mentally for your clients, because that's what they come to you for. Yeah. Everything is taken care of. And here's the kicker. Even after all that, there's an offer assessment. So just like in school, you would have to fill out our form, our assessment, and you get graded on if your offer is actually worth 5 to 10K, 5 to 25K to sell, if it's scalable, not just sellable, scalable, meaning can you get to 100 grand a month with that offer? Because most offers, they can't, if you go past 20 or 30 grand in sales a month, you'll break. Your company won't scale. So the bottleneck itself is the offer, not even your marketing, your sales. It's crazy. Yeah. Anyways, that's just getting you off the ground. That's just foundational stuff. But we have the best sales training on the planet. Like I honestly, I've yet to see a sales training that goes as in depth, as authentic, as transparent, and as explanational as ours. Yeah. I even have a recording of me closing the sale in real time with notes posted every time I do something, so that my clients understand what I'm doing, what I'm saying, why I'm saying it. No one does that. Like, I'm in every program I'm in, I don't see the owners ever show such a personal thing, which is a recording of them closing a sale. Yeah. And obviously the person I closed is in the program, and they agreed to it because it was such a breakthrough moment. Like, I took a person from, I don't know if I want to do this right now, I need 2 weeks, I can't afford this, to signing up with the phone. Yeah. And it was such a beautiful process, because they broke through as well. My point is, I'm not even, like, that's just the third module. I mean,
that's like a crumb of the appetizer that is our program.
I think the most common thing I'm getting now from my clients is the same kind of pattern of thought, which is, I don't need anything else anymore. They just keep saying, like, this is the last program I'll ever have to buy.
How powerful is that?
It is. Like, how many times have you invested in something and you're like, I got to buy someone else's thing now because something's missing still?
100%.
Oh, I bought the sales program, now I got to buy a marketing program. I bought a marketing program, now I got to buy a coaching program, packaging a coaching, offer.
I made all this money, I hate it all, now I got to get a
mindset
program.
I don't feel good. My company's growing, I need to buy now a operational program.
Yeah.
You spend like tens of thousands of dollars in the long run trying to buy everyone's. I call it like a Frankenstein business, which is you get a bunch of different people that are good at something, but they don't understand the whole journey. So they'll tell you their version of what they got to do, but none of them have actually built a 7-figure business themselves. Yeah. So you're building like dysfunctional business because you're taking Frankenstein pieces and putting it together and trying to build this business that barely can sustain. Mm-hmm. What you need is one mentor who's done it all from scratch. Yeah. Put the pieces congruently into line and just gives you the roadmap. Yeah. That's the greatest feeling ever. And honestly, no amount of money can, I think, outdo that feeling.
100%.
Can be too expensive. There's no such thing. Mm-hmm. Because the amount of money you make, peace of mind you get, and the excitement and confidence that goes through your vein is worth every cent. I would pay, I honestly would pay $1 million for something like that. If I had someone to show me how to get to like 10 million, for example, now. Yeah. I'd pay $1 million. I would empty my bank accounts and just give $1 million as a person if they can do that for me. And that's the power of like understanding, high ticket coaching and just mentorship. So anyways, our program is incredible. I feel bad for anyone who's not jumped in, who didn't get it at our lower prices before we raised it, who aren't going to get it now at our current prices before we raise it again. I feel bad for people still out there, thinking that money, a lack of money or a lack of timing or a lack of preparation is a reason not to have done this with us, because I know everything we do takes care of that. Yeah. There's not one part of the business that we don't take care of. At this point,
and we're still upgrading it too. Like, it's not even done.
No, I'm not even done.
We're just like,
only
we
the
just
first half of the
started.
Program. Yeah. Like, we have highticketcoaching.com. I want to make that a staple. I want people to like go there. I want people to go to our website and copy it, because we're the standard. Yeah. And that's gonna happen. It comes with excellence.
It's just a matter of time.
But just in general, like, at this point, I could not do any marketing or anything, and I just feel like just from the power of our program, we'll help people find us. Yeah. Because people will talk, and our clients will bring us people. Yeah. We get so many referrals on a monthly basis. Like, we get so many. That means the program's that good.
Shout out our clients.
Yeah, man, love them so much.
Our family.
I should create a leaderboard.
They're our family.
I should create a leaderboard for like...
Top affiliate of the month.
Honestly. It's crazy. It's crazy. was thinking about creating an affiliate competition, a challenge.
Ooh.
So if they hit a certain amount of...
do we have any students on the call? How do you feel about that?
If they get like 5 or 10 referrals that turn to clients for us, I'll give them a lead for free. I was thinking about it. I don't know. I didn't decide on it yet.
Did you hear that? SGC students, are you listening?
Yeah. I'm thinking about it. I didn't say yes. I just thinking about it. I was trying to think, like, if they bring in 5 to 10 coaches' lives that we could change.
Yeah, of
I got to
course.
choose a number that they can get a lead for free, work with me, $200K in 9 days. That's pretty sexy offer.
What?
But I have to be the first person to get to there. So it's a speed thing.
So are we counting?
I thought evergreen. It's the first person who gets to it gets it. I can't take on everyone. It's a one-on-one program elite. You know, it's super expensive. So
Oh, snap.
it's like a down payment to a house. Anyways, let's get to answering questions. If you're not in SGC, which is formerly known as speaking to clients,
Formerly, yeah.
currently in the flesh, we're calling it scale and get clients. But it doesn't even matter because our brand, our company is highticketcoaching.com. So
Yeah.
if you're not, that sucks. Let's answer some questions.
Well, let me take a look at the comments first. So we've got Jordan who says, we're back, baby. Woo! We are. Bulent says, hey, guys.
Hey, Blunt.
Oscar also said, hey, guys. Love you both. Love you too, Oscar. You are the best, Armin. You guys over-deliver, he said. Bulent also says, what do you mean by asking what kind of coach are you? Lauren also answered that. Thank you, Low, in the back. Oscar said, what? What the fuck? Oh, I swore.
That's right.
WTF. Ooh, I'm in. He said he's in. So Oscar's in. Let's
Of course,
see Oscar.
Oscar's in. Oscar's always in. Oscar, just do the 100K 90 days challenge first, okay? One challenge at a time. One challenge at a time, man.
Oscar just wants every challenge, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I know, I love it. Just one challenge at a time. Do that, and then you know, we'll talk about it.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's hop into today's questions. First question is from Lionel. He says, I do all of my own sales calls, but I'm finding it's hard to keep up with the influx of leads I'm getting. How do I know when it's the right time to hire a sales rep?
I think I wouldn't hire anyone until you've done 100 calls yourself and until you have at least a 30% close rate, because with those numbers, you'll be able to actually help a rep succeed. If you haven't done 100 calls yourself, you haven't gone through enough of the market personally and experience selling on the phone, their own program, to be able to teach another person to sell for you. And if you're not closing at least 30% of them, then they're not going to learn great. Like if you're closing at 15%, so 15 people out of 100 bought, your rep's probably going to get like 5% close rate until they get better.
Why is that?
Because you're their own limitation. The only thing they can model is you.
True.
And if all they saw you was do is that's the only possibility in their mind.
Great point.
So,
great point.
I sold hundreds of thousands of dollars on the phone myself before I brought in someone. So when I brought them in, I'm like, there's a standard.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, I close 25 to 30% of my calls. So that's what I expected them. So it's okay if they start at 15%, but they work their way up now.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes very profitable. But if you have not done that many calls, if you are not closing well, that means you got to get better. Because for you to teach a person to sell it for you, you got to know how to handle that. And hiring that all out is a very rare, very risky move. I wouldn't, you know. I just fired an agency I hired, but that was for marketing. But again, I was taught the lesson. Doesn't matter who they are, how big they are, blah, blah, blah. No one's going to do better than you because you care about your business the most. And my whole goal is this. I think delegation is very important. Like, I have an entire all-star team here. I wouldn't be able to do this without them. But every single position, with exception, because there's things now that they've gotten so confident and they've learned without me, which is the part of growth, right? But in the beginning, every single position that we filled, I had at least done myself first, so I understand it and I know what good looks like. So I was able to work with them on getting to that point. Then once I got them to how good I was, I inspired them to do better than me, right? But if you're only closing at 10 or 15% and you already have a bad attitude, don't know how to close, when your rep comes to you about problems and they're closing at half that, what are you going to say to them, right? Because you still have to figure it yourself. You don't have to become an expert. Like I didn't become an expert in everything I do, but I had to understand it and I had to do it and get results in it so I could teach it.
Yeah.
So I would hire a rep only after 100 calls and after if you've closed 30% of those calls, if you're at that close rate. Then you know how to bring someone in and give them a real opportunity. Because let's say you have a $5,000 offer and you take 100 calls and you close 30. That's $150,000. If they close 30 over, let's say, 3-month period, so 15 a month, at $50,000 a month, they're making 10%. That's at least $5,000 a month. And for a high, a closed rep, an advisor or closer somewhere in the world, $5,000 is a good start. It's good money for you. It's also a good start for them, to actually build an income to live off of to start with. So until then, though, I wouldn't mess with it. So that's my first thing, which is 100 calls, 30% minimum. And then the way you bring them in is it's going to take at least 3 months, I would give, for probation, like first seeing their calls and then reviewing their calls and then showing them how it's done, and see, like, there's a long time until you're going to miss out on money, is what I'm saying. You're going to leave money on the table because they're going to make mistakes as a way of learning, like you did too. There's nothing wrong with that. But that means you're not going to make as much money. So you got to be okay with that. So I would also say you would need at least $100,000 sitting in your account.
Some cushion.
Yeah, to just be able to go with half the sales per month, or even no sales for a month, while they learn. And luckily for us, that was like that. So when I brought on my first rep, my second, then my third, now we have 2 active ones. I had money, so I wasn't stressed. I wasn't giving them pressure because they weren't closing.
Yeah.
I was allowing them to learn, and now they're good. So if I give them a lead that I know is sellable, 70 to 80% of the time I know they'll close. So, but that took months, man. So you got to make sure that you're good first and you're closing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, in terms of delegation, that's one of the last things you delegate. I think you first need to delegate marketing. Like, you have to figure out an automated system that gets you leads and books calls.
You wouldn't delegate sales first, eh?
No, hell no.
Interesting.
What? No.
Okay.
No, it's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, because especially in the beginning, if you're doing sub $100,000 a month, or sub even 50 a month, you should be doing your own sales. Because at a high ticket price, it's nothing. That's about like 10 clients.
Okay.
If you can't close 10 clients yourself, and all the money's yours, you're gonna need that money to put back into marketing. The first thing you do is you learn how to automate your marketing. So if you're only doing organic, you got to learn how to replace that with some automated system. In our program, we teach hyper organic systems, which is advertising combined with organic. And then once you do that, your leads come in every day, whether you do anything or not. Then the first line of actual delegation is having someone manage those leads to turn them into book calls. That's the first thing I would do, because now you have a system and a person who's helping you get people booking calls.
Got it.
Then you take your own sales. Now, when you're making too much money and have no time left because calls are coming in, you're closing, then you give it away to a salesperson.
Okay.
Because you can afford it, and you don't need to worry about a quantity of leads coming in for the salesperson. So then the next step after that is delegating operational things in the back end. Because you could run a one-man show with just an automated hyper-organic system with one person booking calls for you and one person closing. Yeah. You really could. Mm-hmm. But the next step now is, and this is just in the outbound of your business. If you can get an assistant before all this, that's actually great. But the next operational thing is now getting an assistant to take off the administrative stuff, those things that don't make money but need to be done.
Yeah.
That'd be the third thing I would delegate. So taking away all the smaller things, day-to-day tasks, and getting you focusing on coaching and building better marketing, and being an influencer. So then you build out from there.
Got it.
Hopefully that kind of step-by-step system on training and hiring is good.
Yeah, I think so.
That was useful.
So our next question is from Olivia T. She says, my sales calls are so long, emphasis on so. I don't use a script, but usually just talk about my program, the client's issues, and we move right into the objections and close. How can I make a sales script so I'm not spending so much time on the phone?
Your first mistake is you don't have a script. That's why they go long, because you're having a conversation, not a strategy session. Yeah. Strategy sessions have a guideline, have a finish, have a start and a finish. And there's a process you walk the prospect through. I don't care how good you are at selling. I don't care how much you... I don't care if you despise sales scripts. There's nothing wrong with them. It's how you use them. No one is above the process. Doesn't matter. Even when I take a strategy session to this day, I still have my script in front of me. I still have it. Do I read it word for word? Like, okay, now tell me. No. But I have there as a guideline, because if there is a step-by-step process you need to take a prospect through to psychologically be willing to buy it, to be prepared. Yeah. It's like you're like, cooking chicken takes so long for me. I don't have a recipe book or anything.
That's true.
I don't have a process for how long to put in the oven. But like, I just kind of fumble with it, and then 4 hours later I have roasted chicken. Like, what do you mean?
That's a good point.
How do you cook or bake without a recipe book, right?
Yeah.
So in selling, your sales script is the ingredients, it's the recipe.
I That's a great analogy.
The alchemy of a sales call. I'm gonna do it. Alchemy of conversations. Right, but it is that. And I'll give you an example. Eric and Brian came into my program at the beginning of this year, in February.
Yeah.
Mid-February.
Shout out the Zap twins.
They did about $22,000 within a few weeks into the program because all they did was this. The biggest problem was this. They were stuck at $5,000 to $10,000 a month for a year, I think. Like their best month was $15,000, but that was like a one-off. Most of the time they were at like $5,000 to $7,000 to $8,000. And they were selling a $2,000 program at the time because they were in beta. They were in high ticket. That's low ticket. And they would talk to 15 people and close one. And all they did was take my script and watch the training on how to go over the script. And they went from closing 1 out of 15 clients to closing 10 out of 15 clients. So that's how they hit $22,000 within 2 weeks into the program. And when I went to interview them, the interview's on our results page. And when I went to interview them, I'm like, what changed for you? He goes, we would get on the call. We had no script, no process.
Really?
Yeah, exactly what this person just said.
Stop.
They were like, we have no script, no process, no nothing. We would just get on the call.
Really, guys?
And we would literally pitch our program and just go, what do you think? That's what they said they used to do.
Stop.
I'm like, yeah, no wonder you're selling nothing.
I didn't know this was such a common thing.
I was confused at how they even got one sale.
I didn't know that was such a common thing. Wow.
So,
Olivia, Zap twins, you guys, why? Why are you doing this?
So I'm like, okay, and then what happened with my training? He goes, well, we got it. And we finally had a roadmap from like how to take a person from prospect to client.
Yeah.
And it works so well. And even the way you have the questions stated, because I have everything mapped out. Like even, not what you say, but what you ask. Because what you say is always going to depend. 100%. I don't give you a script to what to say. I give you a script on what to ask. Because asking questions could always be universally applicable. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. The questions have power. But how you respond to what they say, that's up to you. That's where the authenticity stays. But questions, there should be a flow to them. So he's like, even the way you laid out the questions and how you ask it, and the ending, like how you asked for the sale, it works so well, man. He's like, every time we did it, they just go, okay, let's do it. And I'm like, that's sick, man. So 2 months later, they joined, they started working with me closer, and they crossed $64,000 their first month working with me one-on-one. Then they crossed $101,000 last month. And again, I looked at their sales process, refined it more, and then they hired a sales rep. Yeah. So see, now they're doing 50 to 100. Now they hire a sales rep. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. So my point is this. Your calls are only going to go long if you have no start to finish process for it. Second, because you have no guideline to keep, like if there's no road to keep the prospect on track, you'll go off road, and that will cost 30 minutes alone.
Wow.
But when you have a sales script or a guideline, essentially, then you know when you're off track. Mm-hmm. So you'll know if this is a buying conversation or just a wasted conversation at this point.
Yeah.
That's what the biggest point of a sales script is for. It's not about like not being real or talking to them for real. It's not about that at all. It's about having a process to follow. So when you know you're not on road, you're off road, and you can come back on. Yep. That's what causes shorter conversations. We close high ticket clients in 30 to 60 minutes on phones because we have a process, right? Mm-hmm. And also when you don't have a guideline, you end up succumbing to random thoughts or conversations or questions. Like you might start doing something that kills the sale, and it's because it's not a part of the process, but it's just a spontaneous
in the flow of conversation
reflex you had on the call. And when you have a script in place like ours, you know what not to do and what to do only. So it secures the sale more. Anyways, we've helped a lot of coaches double, triple, even quadruple the closing rate on the phone. The Zap Twins went from 6% to 66% close rate. That's unheard of in the industry. But that's really the point of it. You need to have a sales script in place. Second one is this. Remember that the sale is made during the call where you're asking questions to find out what the problem is and what's the cost of that problem and why they need to change it. Until they're convinced that they need to change it and they don't know how and they need your help, you don't go to money. Now, when you get to money, if you did everything right prior to the price part should only come down to one of two questions. How do I pay? Or do you have payment plans? And those are the only two buying questions I accept. Everything else means you did something wrong prior to the price.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, it's a lot of money. I don't know if I could do it. I'm going to wait a couple more weeks. I can't do that. What if this doesn't work? All of that just shows me I didn't do my job properly before the price. Now, when I talk to people, I don't take my own calls anymore, but sometimes I do. I don't usually take my sales calls, but when I do, you know what I mean?
Of course.
I close. If that person's a fit if we're a fit to work with each other, it's closed. Yeah. There is nothing that can happen that can sway me off from them buying. So when I get to the price, every time the response I get is them figuring out a way to pay to work with us. Because I do everything right before the call. I don't even get to the price. I'm willing to cancel. I'm willing to get off the call before getting to price if I realize that we can't get to price without me handling every objection in advance. I'm going to say that again. I'm willing to get off the call without even talking about the price if I realize that I can't get to the price without this person overcoming all their objections in advance.
100%.
That's really deep.
It is.
But that's what people don't have the patience, the discipline, or the skill set on phones to do. That's what we train our clients to do. And this is not a course you can learn. It's not just even if I gave you my entire sales training right now, you would still fail because it takes critique, self-awareness, and coaching to get better at it. Yeah. It's a mastery process, not a learning process. That's why on our coaching calls, we review our client sales calls. I listen to them, and then I critique them, and I look at them. I'm like, this is where you lost a sale. And they go, holy crap.
Didn't even hear that.
They didn't even notice that. The funniest thing is this. My clients got on a call and be like, okay, skip to the 47th minute. That's when I lost the sale. That's when I got the objection. I'm like, okay. That's nice. But you probably lost it 4 minutes in. So I go to the beginning, and I listen, and
sure enough,
lo and behold, 7 minutes into the call, I heard the prospect give an objection that I realized if it wasn't covered right there in the price, they would have brought it up as an excuse to not buy. Yeah. So I'm like, and I heard my client not address it and move on. I'm like, that's where you lost the sale. Crazy, eh?
And it's nine times out of 10, it's the very same objection that they
almost the same, eh?
Close.
I'll give you an example. I was looking at one of my clients' calls, and the person was like, right in the beginning, because we asked right in the beginning of the call, we go, so why'd you book a call? What do you need help with? Essentially, it's how we should start every call. Why are we here? And the person's like, I'm in a job. I want to do this thing. But just generally right now, it's like I'm so tight on time. I don't even have time to focus on my business, and I really want to get out of it. But until I get out of this job, I won't have the time to do this. So, but yeah, I just need help with marketing or something like that. And,
yeah.
And then I heard my client go, okay, great. And then went to the next question. I'm like, what do you mean, okay, great? This person just literally told you. They just literally told you they're not doing this because they don't have time.
100%.
So I'm like, if I was on the call, I would have been like, so let me ask you a question. If you have no time, why'd you book a call?
Yeah.
And I would have made the whole conversation about that before we move on. Because until that was covered or addressed, they wouldn't feel settled. They wouldn't have a reason to buy on the phone.
And in the objection, what did she say? I just don't have time right now.
Yeah, literally.
I just don't, that's great, but I just don't see myself having the
time. No, I even tell
now.
you, even if you do close it, you didn't close it really. They're just going to refund later because you didn't address the foundational fear they have, which is, what if I don't have time to do this?
Yeah.
And it's funny because my client did close them on a deposit.
Yeah.
But they called the next day and said, they literally said, word for word, I realize it's not the right timing right now. And so when I'm ready, I'll come do it. I'm like, that was 7 minutes into your call. Mm-hmm. And you waited a whole day to figure it out. So my point is, though, my client would have never noticed that. Never.
Yeah.
But we've done.
Would have thought she was bad at closing.
She would have taken it personally.
Would have thought she needs to do objection handling, role plays.
And she did. She's like, I need to learn how to overcome objections of money. I'm like, no. You got to learn how to make the person sell themselves before you talk about money.
Did you hear that? Wow, great point.
And if you guys book calls with us, don't you dare ask me or my team or anyone on my team what the cost is. For example, off the bat, we might even cancel the call because you're already in the wrong mindset.
Yeah.
Why are you booking a call talking about price? We're not selling shoes. You're not comparing my program to another program for pricing. If you are, that's probably why you're stuck in your business. I'm trying to be respectful when I say this, but it's true. Because people who actually scale a business are not worried about cost of return. They're excited about return. That's the equivalent of you being worried about putting $5,000 into a stock and not realizing you're going to make $15,000 back. Well, then you always be poor. Because you're more focused on the $5,000 you have to spend and not focused on the $10,000 in profit you're going to make. So literally what it is. But we're going to handle how much is the program before an actual strategy session the same way, which is, it's going to depend based on your situation. I have 2 different offers. They're both expensive, for your information. None of them are cheap.
Whatever that means.
Because if you get a cheap one, you get what you pay for. Yeah. So why would you want a cheap price? It's funny, because I feel like coaches book calls, or people book calls, and they want the best day.
Of course.
They're like, I'm hoping that this is it.
Yeah.
This is the best thing. This person's going to help me get what I need.
Yeah.
But it's simultaneously, they're really hoping it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
How is that working in your head?
Yeah. Have you seen that triangle that's like you can have it fast, you can have it best possible quality, or you can have it cheap, right?
I like that.
You can only have two sides of the triangle, but you can't have all three.
It's true though.
You know, it'll either be good quality and a pretty penny, or it'll be cheap and fast.
Yeah.
But you get what you pay for.
If you hire a coach that's not good at what they do, or amateur, they'll charge cheap to make up for it. But you save money.
Yeah.
If you hire a coach that knows they're good at what they do and can guarantee results, they'll charge a pretty penny for it.
Yeah.
But you're spending more money. So you're really you're your only problem. Because the approach. You want the best for cheap. You want the Lambo for the Toyota price. You want Tony Robbins for regular coaching rate.
Never.
No. You know, there's so much more I could give. Like literally, you want 50% return on your investment on $1,000 investment. You know? But like a high ticket person understands, someone who's success minded, if they put $25,000 into a program, they'll make back 50. That's a good investment.
100%.
In terms of skill set. But someone who's only willing to spend $1,000 wants to get back $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many applications we get where the answer says, "Where are you at in your business?" They're like, $1 to $5 grand. What's your budget to work with us? $500 only.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to make? 50 grand a month. I'm like, oh, nice. Let me know when you figure it out. Let me know when you find that program. I'll buy it. If you can find the program that's $500 to make you 50 grand, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Yeah.
The problem is, it doesn't exist. There's a reason why Udemy courses didn't make it millionaires. Okay?
It's so true.
If there's anyone, every millionaire I know has spent at least $50,000 to $100,000 into programs. The cheapest ones being $5 grand, and that's cheap.
That is cheap.
Like I don't even like buying programs $5 grand or less anymore, 10 grand or less, because it's like I know the more I pay, the better I get.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, eh? Some of you don't believe it. You still think paying more is just paying more. There's nothing else. Mm-hmm. You think I'm gonna get the same value as a $5,000 coach if I pay them $50.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just paying 45 grand more than I should. No. If you spend 50, you're getting $500,000 worth of value.
Think about it.
Man, you guys, it's too much, man. Too much going on.
I think we should end the show now.
Thanks for coming, guys. Just take that one thing and it'll
You got
transform your
everything
life.
you needed for today. Thanks for tuning in.
So, sales script. Going back to sales training.
Yeah.
You need a script, you need training, and you got to know how to overcome objections prior to the price. End of story.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's
I
go
like
to
questions.
let's go to
Boulant
Boulant
first?
in the comments.
Then opt in.
Yeah, so Boulant said, how do we set up our price for clients?
What does that mean?
And I feel like I have to write every single word Armin says. He also mentioned that.
How do we have to, what?
How do we set up price for clients?
Go to module 2.
Literally, there's like module 2, lesson 3.
Lesson 2.
Lesson 2.
Module 2, lesson 2. In that, craft your high ticket offer, I talk about pricing. I even show you what to put in your program at what price to make it worth the price. Okay? That's your question.
That's not it. It's not it. Sorry.
And quick little side training on pricing. Your price isn't determined on what you're giving the client. It's not about deliverables. Your price is determined by the result you're promising them.
Yeah.
So if I promise you you'll make $1 million in your business by working with me over a year, I could charge $100,000. It's not worth $100,000 because I'm going to give you 4 retreats and 5 Ferraris and dinner at home with me and my parents. Like, no. Because more stuff in the program doesn't make it worth more money.
Yeah.
It said I'm guaranteeing you $1 million return. If I'm a relationship coach and I charge $10,000 to help you fall in love with someone, find a person, date them, fall in love with them, I'm charging 10, not because you're going to get weekly trainings and calls and video footage and one-on-one and accountability. That's not what I'm charging 10 grand for. Mm-hmm. 10 grand is justified because what's the price you would pay to fall in love and find your soulmate?
Yeah.
Now that would be priceless. Mm-hmm. So you can even charge a millionaire $100,000 to give them relationship coaching because if they have money, and to them it costs way more to them to be lonely and miserable, and they're willing to pay $100,000 to fix that problem, plug that hole, they'll pay.
Yeah.
You guys learn about pricing is all messed up in most coaches' head. The thing is about what they give. It's not. It's about the result they produce. Just a little training there. Upton's question.
You could actually give that story that you normally give about the mechanic who charges that price. This guy was looking for a mechanic, and he finally finds one, and then there's like this one thing that was wrong with this part of the screw.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Okay,
that story.
I'll give that story.
Mechanic story.
That's a really good story. In Japan, they're very keen on their businesses. Everything's very precise, and this very large factory one day just ends up shutting down out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All the electronics stopped, the machines stopped working, and hundreds of workers are there like, what the hell do we do? So the manager's freaking out. And he's wondering, like, what do we do? They, like, call every technician they have. They started, like, opening up the, what are those things called? The electric panel, start like, touching everything. Nothing's working. And every hour that this factory's down, they're losing millions of dollars.
Wow.
Okay, millions of dollars. Because every hour they're producing enough products to make $1 million worth of sales. So a couple hours pass by, and they've lost, like, $3-4 million in potential revenue at this point, and they're freaking out. So they call the best electric company they know, and they send over this technician. And he's like a specialized technician specifically for factories. Mm-hmm. So think about niching. He's a specialized technician specifically for large factories who have machine issues.
Yeah.
He's not gonna fix your chandelier in your living room, okay, for $20. He's not gonna come and fix your plumbing. That has nothing to do with this. He's not going to come and, he's not even going to fix the elevator in a building for $1,000. No, he's a specialized technician on large factories.
Yeah.
There's only so few large factories, so few technicians that are specialized, so therefore what? Price is higher. So he walks in, he looks at the factory, he looks over at the electricity panel for a few seconds, and then he walks straight through the crowd of workers, manager's following him from behind, walks right up to one of the panels in the pillar in the factory, opens it up, grabs a screwdriver, puts it in there, tightens a bolt, and the entire place turns on. And they're like, oh my, how'd you do that? He'll be like, that's what I do. And they're like, thank you so much. You have no idea. Like, oh, we should have had you 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
And go, no problem. Like, how much do we owe you? Oh my God, thank you so much. Everyone's like, holy crap. They're going back to work. This guy brings out a bill for $10,000. He's like, $10,000? What are you charging us $10,000 for? All you did was screw on a bolt, screw a screw in. Like you just tightened a screw. Like, why are you charging us $10,000? He goes, oh, $1 for the screw. $9,999 for knowing which screw to tighten.
Mic drop.
That's a good example of what are you paying for.
Wow.
Because every other technician came in, didn't know which screw to tighten.
Yeah.
What to hit.
Yeah.
This guy did. So now the question is, do you want the cheap technician that costs you more money because the job's not getting done? Or are you willing to pay the premium price to just get the job done off the bat? And the ironic part is they would have saved millions of dollars if they had just hired the most expensive technician in the city, which they tried to skip because they're trying to save money. Most of you need to hear this. You lose more money waiting to find a cheaper person than you would have if you had just paid the best. Mm-hmm. That's a wake-up call for you.
Yeah.
Most of you lose more money than what you would have paid anyways to hire the best person in what they do, trying to go through a bunch of amateurs that don't know what they're doing.
100%.
I know that from experience. I was reluctant to pay a lot of money before. The most expensive thing, I started off delusional as a coach 5 years ago. I thought I could just learn everything from YouTube and books and asking random people for advice. That got me nowhere. Then I actually bought a few programs. My first ever program I bought, it was like most of the money I had, and it was like $10,000 worth. And that made me $250,000. Everything I learned, a $10,000 investment. And then I realized I had to spend more, so I spent more.
Yeah.
But I bought a lot of $1,000 things here and there, and $2,000, and I did a session with some person. None of that ever got me any real results. It was only when I started to invest the big money. For some reason, maybe the price tag wasn't directly correlated with my results. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird that I've noticed a pattern. Every time I spend a lot of money on something, I get better results than if I spend less money on something. It's not saying that the money is what caused the results. Obviously, I had to do the work. The person was good. But it's just odd, maybe a coincidence, that usually the things that got me the real results costed me the most money. It was the $30,000 masterminds, $40,000 programs I bought that made me the 6-figure months. Crazy, eh?
Funny.
So that's something everyone I think needs to hear. Like,
Definitely.
you can't wait around for a cheap thing because you're just going to get cheap results, and you're going to lose more money than if you had just made.
Yeah.
If you had taken a leap of faith and put, a lot of money into the right place. Was that your question, by the way, or did you just want to?
No, but I love that story that you always
Yeah, it's a
share.
good story.
It's
Thanks.
such a good
I
story.
don't remember that story.
And
I
you
don't think
shared
I've heard
it
it
in a
before.
different way this time, which was
TGR
even
recent teacher.
more
I don't
like
remember. That's good.
very valuable. But I love the part where you did say something that just like totally opened up my perspective, is when you said that the business was losing millions of dollars. So a lot of the times when you're speaking to your clients, or when in sales I've spoken to my clients, it's the idea of how much are they losing, like the opportunity cost, and also the cost of like
The problem.
that actually the problem is causing for them, like $3-4 million. Obviously, the higher the cost of them paying for the errors, the mistakes, and just prolonging, it's like nowhere near to how much they actually have to put to solve it. So I love that.
There's a few costs. There's cost of inaction, which is what will it cost you to do nothing about this? There's cost of time, which is how long have you been struggling with this problem and how much longer will it go?
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, that's also very costly. There's the cost of the problem, which is what is the problem currently costing you? Just existing.
Yeah.
There's cost of your mindset, like your peace of mind. So cost of like the stress that comes with you not fixing this. There's all these different costs,
Could you say that again? Because I want to type it.
I'll give you, in our training, we have a list of them. I'll just give it to you.
Okay, all right.
But there's different costs.
Yeah.
And my goal in every strategy session I ever do with someone is to find all the different costs. And the moment I found them and the bill is really high, and in perspective, I position my offer as a very cheap way to fix it,
Yeah.
no matter how much I charge. I'm telling you, I've closed $25,000 to $50,000 clients easier than I have closing $1,000 to $5,000 clients.
Yeah.
Easier. Because at that price point, at that level, most of the people have very expensive problems.
So would you say that, like, this relates to my next question, which was before I was going to ask you about, like, your best practices when it comes to practicing handling objections. Is it practicing handling objections, or is it practicing handling their costs, in a sense?
It's not about, it's not a bike. You don't handle objections.
Yeah.
You don't want to handle it. You want to solve them.
Good point.
Mindset shift.
Yeah. Great shift.
No more handling objections. You solve them, man. You also don't have to overcome them if you don't acknowledge it as a real objection. I don't know if anyone caught what I just said.
I did.
What did I just say?
That they're not objections if you don't acknowledge them.
So you don't have to overcome them. How do you overcome something that doesn't exist?
Yeah.
How do you handle something that doesn't exist? You don't. The real secret to dissolving objections, aside from solving them prior to the price, which, by the way, I think every objection should be solved prior to a price, so that by the time you get to price, it's just a matter of how do they pay. Or if they just, honestly, if they're a fit, I wouldn't even get to price if they're not a fit. That's a big thing I want everyone to understand. If I don't think I can help them get results or they're a fit for what I do, I don't even get to price. I just get off the call halfway. Like, oh, this isn't for you, man. So you guys got to not sell unqualified people. That's an ethical thing. But if they get to the end and they're fit, there's only one question I want to hear. How do I pay? Every other question is my fault if I get it. Or if they're just really afraid, it's fine. I could still comfort them, because it's scary sometimes for people to do a big jump.
Yeah.
But you solve objections. Now, the secret to solving objections, this is really deep. I don't know if I should give it to them. Should I give it to them? Should I send an invoice to everyone watching?
Tell them, Armin.
I should send an invoice to everyone watching. Because this is
Tell them.
This is going to make some money for people. This might make you some money.
Caution.
The secret.
Money ahead.
Thanks, Rudolph. The secret. No, you really sound like Krusty the Krab a bit. The secret to answering or solving objections, dissolving them, really, is by not even letting them be real. can you tone down the dramaticness?
I have a lot of energy today.
I don't want people to think this is Chuck E. Cheese. Some real shit. Okay? This is a no BS show, guys.
It's true.
I'm giving you some real stuff. I want you to do well, because if you go out and do well with just free advice, I'm sure you want to become a client later, and we'll work together, and then we can take it to real results. Let me give you some real stuff. When your prospect gives you an objection, you don't even address it. You don't accept it as a real thing. You question it and turn the conversation into what's behind the objection. Give me an objection right now. Let's practice role play in front of them so they can see.
Oh, snap. I don't really make purchases like this without my partner.
Okay, what does that mean? First of all, again, you would need a training to understand. There's so many of these to understand what's behind an objection. This means they're still uncertain that this will work. Because if they were certain this will work, they're going to buy and go tell their partner that they just did it because they're excited. Mm-hmm. So they're using the partner as somewhat of a escape route to think about whether they're ready to do this or not, simply because they're still uncertain it's going to work. If they were certain, they would not need to talk to anyone because they would think it's a gift. It's like you're buying a gift for your husband. You're not going to be like, well, before I buy the gift, I just got to make sure he's going to like it. No. If you know he's going to like it, you're going to buy it and show up with it, right?
Yeah.
Surprise. You're welcome. So, and this is a very thin line gray area because sometimes, out of respect, I know couples want to be together on things. That's fine. But this is my fault if I got to this point and she's saying this and I didn't cover it earlier, because one of the first things we do is, does anyone need to be on this call?
Yeah.
So if I got this, that's my fault. Now, if she said yes and she's still using it, now I really know she's BSing, because we already said she doesn't need her partner to be here. Okay, that's a big one. Mm-hmm. So many ways this can go. But what's behind this? You're uncertain. I can be like, okay, cool. I always do this. I always agree, because no one likes to be opposed. Nobody. Your ego defense goes up. So I always agree. But notice how I want to address this as a real problem. I'll talk about what really is the problem. Are you ready?
I am.
So say it again to me.
This all sounds great, but I usually don't make these types of decisions without my partner around.
Cool. What kind of decision are you talking about?
Financial investments.
Oh, like anything?
Usually, yeah.
Okay, cool. And if your husband says no, you're going to not do it? This is really deep what I just said. I'm already going to the decision-making point of the conversation before she talks to her husband by future-pacing her about it. You guys get that? Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm closing her in the future. After the husband talk. Think about that. That means if she says yes, then guess what? Her husband's irrelevant. Ah! Ready? So if she says no, are you just not going to do it?
I mean, not necessarily. I still probably would think about it after, but I do respect his opinion and I want his perspective. So.
Of course. I mean, and he wasn't here for our call, so I can't imagine he's going to understand fully what we talked about.
Exactly. Right? So we're going to have to talk about it as well,
You think I could talk to him too? Maybe we could do it together, because I can answer any questions he has.
Yeah, probably, but he's really busy.
That means it's BS. So can I ask you something? So let's say he says no and he's against it. Are we just gonna leave the prom as it is, or are you gonna not do this? Are you okay with the prom? Because if it is, we don't need to do this. I'd rather you be comfortable. I don't want to jeopardize your relationship with your partner.
That's not really what's gonna happen. You're not jeopardizing anything.
Now she's defending to buy, by the way.
I just I still have the problem. You're right, but I just.
Does your husband want it solved too? Oh, I'm bringing him in. Does your husband want this? Is it a problem for him too? Or is it just your own thing?
Well, technically, it's my business. I've been in business for a while. Coaching, and my husband is not in this industry. He does other things, and he's very supportive of me, of course. But
so he supports you when you make decisions?
Usually.
So what do you think? You think if you go to him right now, he's gonna say yeah, or is he gonna be like no? I mean, you know him better than me. I don't know.
I'm not actually sure. That's why I want to talk to him.
Okay, what do you think is going to bother him the most? Do you think he'll freak out about the price, about the... what does he think about you doing this in general? Forget about me. 1 second. You need to grow the crops of skills. Man, what would you pay to get me to hear every call you do and get you this good? I don't even think I'm the best. I think I'm good. I'm trying to make my clients and my people better than me. But some would say I'm the best. Do you know how to turn every conversation into an outcome you want? It's called persuasion. You don't know how. It's costing you money. Do you know how much money it costs you to not know how to close? Hundreds, millions of dollars. The difference between you having made $1 million with a $5,000 offer and what you have now is 200 clients. So how many ever clients you're at that price point? And by the way, at that price point, the more expensive, the harder the sale. There's more fear with the person, right? The gap between where you are now and $1 million, that gap is what it costed you to not know how to close. So if you only made 100 grand in sales, it cost you $900,000 to not know how to do this. Even if I say my program is $50,000, is it unreasonable now? Zoom in on my face, Isaiah. Is it unreasonable? Zoom in. You want to role play another objection, or do we have questions?
Yes. So, Blunt in the comments says, it's so true. They use partners as an escape from taking on the program or to ask. Additionally, he said you can ask, has he been against any of your decisions before? Neutrally, you're eliminating any blocks you may have before you get to a real meeting, and you understand if that person is qualified to make the decision by themselves.
You should be doing that off the bat. Any other questions?
That's it.
Cool. So, I mean, we're a little over time, but...
Are we? Oh my goodness, it's 1:10.
Yeah.
It went by quick.
What?
Yeah.
It was a quick ting, yeah.
Not
Don't
on set.
listen to Upton. In
Not
the
on
back.
set, okay?
I don't know. That was not. Okay.
There's two people behind the camera. That was... Upton, tell your assistant.
Hey.
So, Armin, I did want to touch, because Olivia's question was specifically around how to make a sales script. Do you think that that's even possible? Drafting your own sales script? How can we give people guidance on that?
Yeah, I made my own.
You didn't outline what
Yeah,
that
like
would look
3 years ago, I made my own, and it was like a mix between an infomercial from the 50s and an interrogation process in a good cop, bad cop movie.
Wow.
But I thought it was great because I was closing $1,000 clients on the phone. It was cold calls too. And we did like 20, 30 grand our best month.
Yeah.
Selling a $2,000 seminar. It was 3 years ago when I was a chicken with my head cut off. So can you make your own sales script? Of course you can.
Yes.
Can you trust that the way you think and the way you're approaching the sales script is actually the best way? No, you can't.
Ooh.
Unless you have results that are great, you can't trust your brain to come up with some extraordinary out of your skill set idea of a sales script if you haven't been there.
Wow.
It's like, are you ready for this?
I don't know.
It's like you're asking, could I make my own road, my own map to where I want to get to? Of course you can.
Yes.
Can you trust that you actually know the fastest path there? No.
Wow.
Can you even trust that you'll get there? Because if you've never been to where you want to go, it is physically and mentally impossible to create your own roadmap to it.
Yeah.
Is it not true?
It's true.
So what's the most logical way to create your own map? You don't. You find someone who's been there. Took the fastest path. Not the cheapest. The one who got there. Because the ones who are cheap probably didn't get there. They probably got half the way.
Yeah.
I'm on some fire right now.
You are.
Flowing in the
You
fire.
better flow, Armin.
I'm flowing. It's coming out of it. It's the water. People who are charging cheaper probably never got there.
Yeah.
But they got 2/3 of the way there. So they feel like they're accomplished to some degree. So they're going to charge you half the price. But for what? To not get you there, essentially. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for almost getting there. You're paying a cheap price to almost get to where you want to go. What's the cost of you never getting there? Because that will happen if you never get the person who's been there to tell you. You might as well, you have a better chance at finding a treasure map with an X in the middle of an entire country and just figuring it out. I mean, I think that would be easier than building a business on your own. Or trying to scale to 7 figures if you don't have a mentor who's done it. That might be easier. I think the lotto gives you a better chance. 1 in 60 million or something like that, right? That's a better odds than you trying to make up a map from thin air based off unstable perspectives in your mind, unproven perspectives and beliefs, to somehow one day spontaneously, by chance, show up to 7 figures? Maybe.
Yeah.
Might as well go looking for treasure. There's a higher chance probably you'll find gold on the beach, in the ground. If you're looking for cheap, you should buy, what are they called?
Metal detectors?
Metal detector? If you want something cheap, a cheap way to make money, you should buy a metal detector. They're cheap. What are they, like, grand?
I don't even
You
know.
find gold. One piece of gold can make back your investment. But don't ask for real coaching for the price of a metal detector. Now, the irony is, real coaching brings you the gold. On demand, with a guarantee, and with the simplest roadmap. Proven. But no. If you could save $2,000, go with the guy who went half the way. If you could save $7,000, just pay the other guy to do it for you.
Yeah.
Guy's never done it though. But hire the guy to do the marketing for you and the sales for you. That should work, right? Let's just get a bunch of technicians that have never fixed a large factory. We'll save money because each of them are $100 each. But you end up spending 20 grand trying 200 different technicians when you could have paid 10 to the one who knew how.
Yeah.
If you're not getting a breakthrough in business right now, you better be having a baptized scenario right now. Like, you better be repenting to God or something. Because this has never been a truer show. Never been so accurate, the things we're saying right now. Some of you think you need to get more leads. That's your problem, right? I don't have enough leads.
Yeah.
Some of you go, I have leads, but Armin, I don't know how to get into book calls. You think I need more book calls, I make more money. Some of you think, well, I have all the calls coming in, I just gotta close, man. Gotta learn how to sell. What if I told you it was none of those things? What if I told you your offer itself is the problem? No, don't say that about my offer, Armin. I'm passionate about what I do.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it sells. No, but Armin, I really want to help these people. Doesn't mean it'll scale. Maybe the reason why the leads come in and don't turn to book calls and book calls don't turn to sales and sales refund, maybe it's because of the offer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, I should get a walking stick and wear a cloak. Call me Yoda Armin.
Wow.
I might do that one day.
I think so.
Sit on a rock
I think you should.
with one laptop and the only application on it is Zoom
Yeah.
to coach my clients with.
Yeah. Guru Armin.
No, I like Yoda. Wear a brown cloak,
Yeah.
get a walking stick on a rock, padded, and just coach people on Zoom. I think we're done messing around.
I can make that work.
Yeah, yeah, to set up and everything.
Wow.
Be the Sadhguru of business. That was deep.
You heard it here first.
I hope you guys got what you needed when you came here.
Yeah.
If you're new to the group, by the way, to High Ticket Coaching, welcome. There's more of this where, there's more of, well, you just got here, where it came from. How do you say it? There's more of this.
There's more. I actually don't know it.
Of this where it came from?
Where it
That's
came
not
from.
how it is.
I know. I actually don't know. There's more. Lauren.
You're the English person.
Isn't it more to this?
There's more of this.
To this, right?
There's more to this.
Yeah.
There's
No,
more to
where
this.
it came from?
Where's the word it came
There's
from?
more of this. If you like it, it's gonna come, okay?
There'll be more here for
In
you.
this group. I'm gonna start doing some more content in the group. I want to help you guys out. So.
For sure. Okay, we got some comments before we close off.
Tell me.
So Tim says, first time watching your show live. Cool. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome,
Tim.
man.
Bulent says, let's start with module 3. Get into it. Log in. And Isaiah, he also said you have me energized today. And Isaiah said today is such a fire show.
All right, guys. Thanks for hopping in, jumping in, flying the carpet in to this show today. We go live every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to get your questions answered on the show live, go to askarmin.com. Submit your questions. me and my team will answer your questions on the show. Now, if you want to join us live, make sure you join our High Ticket Coaching community group. It's at highticketcoaching.com, community.com. And join our Facebook group. And in here, you'll get a ton of free resources, trainings, help from my team, and the weekly show live so we can shoot the shit and have some fun and scale our business. Now, if you're on YouTube and you enjoyed this episode, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, that little notification bell, so you can get notified every time we drop brand new golden treasure boxes in your closet. Why would it be in the closet?
I don't know.
On your phone or laptop.
Yes.
And if you're interested in seeing where all of this confidence is coming from about our program, then you can always, for free, book a chat and talk to us. And we can show you what's up. We'll show you what's going on, how our clients are doing 20, 30, 50, 100, $3 billion a month. That last one's not true, but everything else is. Okay. If you want to know how to scale, we reverse engineered the science, proven track record of it, to show you how. And if you enjoy having fun while learning and not learn from someone who only knows how to teach marketing and they don't have anything else going for them, then this is the place for you. And we're only looking for serious coaches. So unless you're serious, like Black, that's a Harry Potter reference,
I got that.
don't book a call. But if you feel like you're one of us, book a call. Love you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the show. Go on and make the rest of your week the best of your week.